Something unusual and honestly shocking is happening in the region right now. A brand new Indian film, Dhurandhar, gets banned across the entire Gulf overnight. The question is why? What are they trying to stop people from seeing? And how does a hit movie suddenly become too dangerous for an entire region? At the same time, guess what is happening? A new UN group is quietly formed behind closed doors, and India isn't even invited. A global extremist network is expanding faster than anyone expected. And inside the Indian Air Force, a silent crisis is unfolding, but no one is ready to talk about it publicly. Four stories, no connection, at least on the surface. But when you look closely, they reveal a big shift in the region, one that's happening faster than people realize. So the real question is, what is changing and why now? Let's break it down. Let's start with something unexpected. An Indian film, you must have watched thousands of reels on your Instagram, Dhurandhar, has just been banned across the entire Gulf countries. Not in one country, not in two, but Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE all banned it at once. The reason? Not violence, not religion, not cultural sensitivity. Then what is the reason? The Gulf regulators declared it had anti-Pakistan content. Think about how rare this is. 4, 5 Arab states to ban a movie simultaneously, there has to be a very clear message. And what is the message? The message seems simple, viewers. This region does not want Indian cinema pushing narratives that fuel regional tension, especially against Pakistan. Whether India admits it or not, this ban is a diplomatic signal because the Gulf, especially Saudi Arabia and the UAE, have been working with Pakistan in defense, trade, security, and labor partnerships for decades. A movie attacking Pakistan doesn't only look politically motivated, it actually risks creating friction where the Gulf doesn't want it. So the ban is less about a film and it is more about a geopolitical reminder. And what is that geopolitical reminder? We are not choosing sides in your conflicts. Now, to the United Nations, something quietly happened there. The second story, China has launched a new diplomatic initiative called Friends of Global Governance. What is this initiative about? What is this diplomatic initiative about, viewers? A group aimed at reforming global decision making, strengthening the voice of developing countries, and basically challenging old power structures inside the United Nations. Pakistan is involved in it. China is involved in it, Russia is involved in it, North Korea is involved in it, but here's the twist. This group includes the countries from the SCO, it includes Pakistan, it includes Russia, it includes China and others, but India, it was not invited. Now that's interesting. That is not a random exclusion, it's a geopolitical message because for the past few years, Beijing has been strengthening platforms where developing countries can collectively push back against Western-dominated structures. And in these platforms, Pakistan is seen as an ally, while India is seen as an opponent of China's global governance model. For Pakistan, this is actually a big moment. A major power like China, inside the United Nations, is telling the world that Pakistan is relevant. Pakistan is a part of the future multipolar system. Pakistan's voice matters in new global alignments, and this new grouping gives Pakistan a stronger diplomatic platform, partnership with major economic powers, and visibility that India does not have in this forum. When you zoom out, the message becomes more clearer. The global order is changing actually right now, and India, it is not automatically included anymore in that changing world order that we are talking about. Now let's talk about something even more serious, because new research from multiple international sources has revealed something unprecedented. And what is that, viewers? According to major studies and documentation, by 2025, the RSS has become the largest organized extremist group, extremist network, you can say, on the planet. Not in South Asia, not in Asia, but globally, because we are talking about the whole world. The evidence presented is shocking. What is the evidence? 2,500 plus institutions operating under one ideological command. Schools, media houses, youth wings, NGOs, religious units. They are being used. A structure that is not legally registered anywhere but operates like a state within a state. Foreign funding flowing in from the United States, Canada, Europe. The training programs, ideological indoctrination, parallel governance inside tribal regions, direct influence over India's political and military decision making, and the biggest contradiction. Modi stands on international stages and calls RSS the world's largest NGO. Mohan Bhagwat claims RSS controls no organization. Now there's a clash between the two statements, what Modi is saying and what he's saying. But global researchers say the opposite. It controls everything without any accountability. This is why minorities feel unsafe, why India's diplomatic behavior has become aggressive, and why South Asia is entering a new phase of tension. Because when an extremist ideological empire starts influencing state policy, the consequences rarely stay domestic. They spill across borders. And that's exactly what the world is starting to realize right now. Now let's move towards the last story, viewers, and this one is huge. Official Indian Air Force documents show something unprecedented. What is that? 780 pilots have resigned in the last 5 years. And the worst part, if you talk about this year, 2025, 163 pilots resigned in 2025 alone, the highest number since the May 2025 conflict with Pakistan. This is not normal. This is not routine turnover. This is a crisis inside the Indian Air Force. This is the crisis inside the IAF, which they are trying to hide from you people. And according to multiple reports, the reason is deeply troubling. When you will hear about that reason, you'll start to think that, is this really happening in India? IAF leadership refused to acknowledge pilots killed in the May conflict and allegedly denied them military funerals. Let that sink in. Pilots who flew missions, pilots who didn't return, pilots who should have been honored. Their families were reportedly kept under strict monitoring. They were allegedly prevented from speaking publicly. They were told to remain silent. For 6 months, viewers, for 6 months, because the official narrative could collapse if the truth came out from the mouth of their families. Imagine being an officer, risking your life, serving your country, and realizing that if something happens to you, your family may not even get to speak. This is the kind of institutional collapse that forces people to walk away, that forces the people of India to walk away, even from elite positions. So here we are, a movie banned across 5 countries, a new global alliance forming without India, the world's biggest extremist network controlling a nuclear-armed state, and an air force losing its best pilots at a record speed. Different stories, yes, but pointing in one direction. The region is shifting, power is changing hands, and the cracks in India's political, military, and diplomatic systems are getting harder to hide. Now, what's the question? Are we prepared for what comes next? And which of these 4 stories do you think is the biggest warning sign? Tell me in the comment section. I'll be reading every reply of yours. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.